Jim, thank you very much for your time, and we are doing this for Fives News magazine, which is the Vancouver martial arts magazine. The first question which is coming to my mind is, since you started the whole concept of the reality-based training, a lot of the people are, using that term.
Yes.
And although I have all the respect in the world for some of them who've got law enforcement background and decent martial arts background, some people are using this by reading a couple of your books probably, or watching some videos, and they are being disrespectful to some of the martial artists. I understand the reality self-defense is different from traditional martial arts, but does it mean that we have to just leave martial arts and just stick to reality self-defense training, or what do you think?
Well, first of all, there's three branches of the martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
Reality-based,
Yep.
traditional-based,
Mm-hmm.
sport-based.
Yep.
Now, they all have their places. If you're interested in, let's say, Japanese culture, you're interested in some of the more traditional ways they studied fighting, then certainly karate is a good place. Or if you're interested in Chinese culture, Chinese wushu, or whatever. If you want to jump into a ring and compete, then obviously sport-based is the way to go. But when it comes to learning real self-defense and real conflict, you need reality-based training. And reality-based training is basically dealing with modern situations. For example, drive-by shootings, rape situations for the women, terrorism, because we have to deal with that from time to time, office massacre, school shooting, you name it. And there's within the reality base, there's three distinct categories: pre-conflict, before a fight; conflict during a fight; and post-conflict. And unfortunately, right now, in this time in history, sport-based and traditional-based are only concerned about conflict, and sometimes even very limited conflict, and we have to concentrate on all three.
I see. I understand. And there was a time it was traditional martial arts and it was point fighting, then full contact
Right.
came to the game, and then mixed martial arts. And after that, you came up with the revolutionary concept of reality-based self-defense. Do you look at it as a kind of evolution of martial arts, or do you look at it as something like different from martial arts?
Nope,
Reality
it's
self-defense.
definitely an evolution of martial arts. And of course, let's look at the term martial arts. What is the word martial? It means war. And of course, if we look at some of the traditional martial arts, they are rooted back to ancient warfare. The only problem is many of them stayed there. They didn't evolve into modern situations. And so my background as a military person, as a corrections officer, law enforcement officer, SWAT officer, and counterterrorism, I just, over the last 30 years, just kind of brought all these together and basically brought back the war of war arts. Now, yes, a person doing a school shooting is not a soldier, he's not a terrorist in the true sense of the word, but he's using war tactics, he's using modern tactics. And so we're just coming full cycle to the original intentions of the martial arts.
And there was a time, actually, Jim, that we were hearing that the secrets of law enforcement and military training was revealed, and a lot of people were actually kind of abusing those terms.
Right.
But the stuff that you teach look completely real to me.
Yeah.
These are the things that you teach to actual military personnel and the law enforcement officers. Do you teach the exact same thing to them?
Well, when it comes to personal safety, what a civilian might encounter, yes, many of the things I teach to police and military carry over. Same techniques. Now, if it came to, like, for example, like a SWAT team or a ERT team has to use team tactics. Well, I'm not going to teach that to civilians because they don't really have any business knowing. So there's a lot of military and police, trade secrets I wouldn't share. But when it comes to personal safety, yes, I'm willing to share those, because whether you're a police officer or just a housewife, if somebody attacks you, you got to know how to survive.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Are you happy with the progress that reality-based self-defense has had in the past several years? And what is your, future plans to expand it, to expand the reality-based self-defense?
Well, my first article dealing with reality-based concepts was exactly 10 years ago through Black Belt magazine, and then a year later through Budo magazine in Europe, and now it's caught on worldwide. It took 10 years to educate people on the concepts, and fortunately other people jumped on board too. Moni Isaac, Avi Nardia, Kelly McCann. A lot of people now see the trend. And the good thing is, as far as my prediction goes, I would say within the next 5 to 10 years, the reality-based concept, whether it's my own or other people following in my footsteps, it will be the dominating martial arts of the future. It has to be, because we are preparing people for real life, not fantasy type fighting. I don't need a Chinese spear. I need to know how to fight against a gun. I don't need tonfa. Yes, it's a good weapon, but I need to know if someone's going to crush my skull with a baseball bat. And so that's why it's going to dominate.
I see. I see. And what would be the future plans for reality-based self-defense in Canada specifically?
Well, through my director of Canada, Mitra Castano, she is going to, of course, market it. She's going to let people know. She's gonna continue what I've started, and through working with her, I will be coming up here more often to teach classes personally. And in time, our ultimate goal is, yes, we like to attract the martial artist, of course, we always will. But now, this is a system for the general population. Anybody can be a full-on expert. Okay, maybe not in the sense of, a soldier, but they will have all the tools they need in just basically 10 courses. So after 80 hours of training, they will get some of the best training in the world, even the same type of training that soldiers and police get.
I see, I see. And you mentioned Mitra's names actually, and I understand that a lot of people like to work with you as your director. What was the reason that you chose Mitra between all these, good candidates?
Well, Mitra was my first female certified level 1 instructor of Canada, so she was the first one. And besides that, she owns her own school. And I got to come here a few times, and of course got to see her motivation, and I got to see her popularity. And it was my old director, Dallas Johnson, who was the first one to introduce me, and so he trusted her. And after he decided, not because of anything, but because of opportunities, he decided to go to Brazil to start a business. And unfortunately, you can't run a country when you're in another country. So she was the most logical answer. In fact, she was also not only my choice, but Dallas Johnson's choice.
Fantastic, fantastic.